Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm doing this presentation in English. If you have any question, you're also, of course, welcome to write it in German. And I can also answer in German. So just for everyone to understand, I'm doing this presentation in English. Okay, so I'll try to read what you write in the chat while I'm doing the presentation, but we are starting with general information, and I'm going to leave some time for you to ask questions afterwards, okay? So let's get started. I'm a student advisor in general student advising at TUM, and I want to present you today this university. I know you've already heard several presentations, so I hope I can still make you listen. And first of all, I want to tell you that when we talk about the Technische Universität München, then actually the campuses sound like they're all in Munich, which is not really true if you look at this map. So on this map, you see that there is exactly one campus in Munich, and then we have more campuses that are outside of Munich. So in Munich center, there are a few departments, but actually the biggest number of departments is in Garching, which is half an hour from Munich center by train. And in Garching, we really have our biggest research campus site, and we have also many outside research facilities. So you also have opportunities to make contact there and use the research facilities on site. So it's a research area that is not only used by TUM. So here we provide you the best conditions to research and to study. And that's actually the principle of our campus choices, because we always bring our students where they have the best opportunities to do research and to develop their skills and to learn well on their topic. So you see there is another campus that is a little outside of Munich, which is in Freising. Freising is closer to Munich Airport, and it's a town where actually students prefer to live than in Munich because the rents are not as high as in Munich. So here, most of the students who study here, they study life sciences, like engineering in the field of biology, for example, food technology, and you can also study biology by itself there, molecular biotechnology, and agricultural science. So here we really have the space and the facilities to provide for these programs. And then you see another campus, which is called Ottobrunn. This is our research campus for aerospace engineering. It's really only for aerospace because, again, here are some research institutions, and our students benefit from the area, from the cooperation that is possible here. And then we have another campus which is quite outside of Munich, so it's like 2 hours by train. This is Campus Straubing. It's a very small campus, very new, nice buildings. It's for those who have a specific interest in sustainable energy use, renewable resources, biotechnology. So then that would be your choice. And then we have one campus which is really far from Munich. It's more than 200 kilometers. It's in Heilbronn. And here we have one section of our management studies. So here you can do digital management and technology. And you can also benefit from the region and the connections that can be made here. It's also a very small campus in another bigger educational campus. So please, when you check a program on our website, do make a check where the location is. Otherwise, you might be very surprised. So here again is the summary of it all. There is Campus Munich, Campus Garching, Campus Weinstefan, Campus Straubing, Campus Ottobrunn, and Campus Heilbronn. Okay, so let's move on. So a little bit about facts about TUM. It's actually, we are older than 150. This is just a picture that was taken for this occasion. I think it's now 154 years that this university exists. And we have approximately 52,000 students at the moment, of which 36% are female and 44% international students. They are mostly in our master's programs because here we offer a wide range of English language programs. So in the bachelor's program, we only have 2 courses that are taught in English. In the master's, it's quite a lot of programs. So where you can really study completely in English. So that's where most of the international students are. We have in total 7 schools and 167 degree programs. So I will tell you a little bit more about that. Here you see what schools we have. So at TUM School of Computation, Information and Technology, you'll find our computer science courses and everything related. Then, of course, we have a TUM School of Engineering. Here you find the engineering courses and also courses like architecture. At the TUM School of Life Sciences, I already mentioned that before, in Weinstefan, here you can study everything related to biology, chemistry, and technology combined with that, like food technology. We also have agricultural science here, and everything that is connected to life sciences. Then we have the TUM School of Management, where you can have all the options in our management courses. They always do have a focus on technology, and here you can choose which technology subject you would want to include to your management knowledge. So here's also a variety of management programs, but it's always connected to technology and natural science. Then we have a TUM School of Medicine and Health. So we have a program for medical studies, but also for sports science and for health science. Here you have the option to study all of this. It's also in Munich located. They have their own research campus, which is close to the former Olympic sites. So the facilities are there appropriate for sports purposes and research. In the TUM School of Natural Sciences, of course, you can learn all the classical natural sciences that we offer: physics, chemistry, mathematics. So you will find a wide range of programs in your interest. Then we do have a TUM School of Social Sciences and Technology, which really looks at technology from a sociological point of view. How does AI influence society? What responsibilities do companies have if they use technology or AI, for example, in their companies? And all of this can be researched and studied here in several master's programs. And then in Campus Straubing, that's the one that I told you is a little bit more rural. Here you have biotechnology and sustainability, which is also connected to the research opportunities in that region. Okay, so let's move a little further into the details of what might be interesting for you. So TUM has quite a good rating in university rankings, if that is interesting for you. So this is just for your information. And I'm moving on, trying to cover the most important facts, which is, I think you've heard a lot about the German education system, so I probably don't need to go into detail here. The bachelor's is, again, 3 years, so 6 to 8 semesters, and the master's 2 years. And we have the basics in the first 4 semesters, then a deepening, ending with a bachelor's thesis, and then the master's thesis finalizes the deepening of the master's program. There are various options to continue your professional career or to move on studying or even to do a PhD. So I'm sure that you have heard about this before. If you have any questions, just send it in the chat. So I do think that I want to tell you more about student life because it's a little more interesting than the dry, hard facts. Student life in Munich is very nice. We have lots of activities. And one of the options that I think I can recommend the most are the student clubs. So here students work together on various topics of their interest. It might be having a cinema in a lecture hall, or working as these guys do in the picture on a very technological, gadgets that are really relevant also and might turn into research projects even. And then we have projects where students really plant. So we have some plantations in front of the campus where students can really pick some vegetables and take home with them. And this is also organized by a student club. And there are various things that you might do. I think it's a very good way to connect and have contacts with other students, and also maybe follow your research interests or just have fun. So this is a very good thing to do. And we also support you in your hobbies, doing music and art. This picture is from a semester starting event. So currently the semester is starting at TUM. So in these days, we do have a lot of events and parties on campus, not always with a big band, but the semester started last week, Monday, so now there is a lot going on campus. And the picture that you see here is the city center campus, like the heart of the campus in the city. There is a question how to join the Mechatronics Student Club. So once you're enrolled as a student, you can join any student club that you are interested in. You just need to sign up. And so exactly today, there was the student club fair for our newcomers. So then all the student clubs come together and they have little stands, little booths in the hall. And you can come and just walk around and talk to them and sign up if you want to participate. So it's very easy. And we do this student club fair every semester beginning, so that everybody has the chance to get in touch and talk and just sign up for it. If you miss that date, you might also just send them an email. But you first need to be like a newcomer to engage in that student club. We also do have lots of university sports offers. This is valid for all students of Munich. So you get some very affordable vouchers for taking part in these sports offers. And there's lots that you can do, and it's really a reasonable price. So I think that's a very good opportunity if you like sports. We also do have some options to go abroad. However, it's a little challenging to do this because the time pressure is usually quite high. So if you have any intention to do that, I recommend that you plan this really very early and try to find out all the information that you need. But in general, it would be possible to also go abroad while you are a student at TUM. Also, if you're an international student, it just takes a little more planning time to prepare for that. But if you're interested, just get in touch with the respective staff members in your department quite early. Look it up on the website and get in touch with them and tell them, I would like to do this and that. Is it possible? And what do I need to get there? Then you have enough planning time. Very important topic, study costs and financing. So TUM has implemented this winter semester tuition fees for non-European students. So the fees he mentioned here do exclude the tuition fee, because the tuition fee is not for everyone, basically. So that's why this fee is for everyone. This is what you will have to pay anyways, if you have to pay the tuition fee or not. You have to pay the semester fee. The semester fee is a fee that goes to the student union, and it can vary between currently 72 to 102 euro, which is depending on the campus site that you are studying at, because the student union operates in different services. This is what every student at TUM has to pay. But then we have the tuition fee, which would apply if you don't have a German passport or a passport of the European Union. And also you would have to pay tuition fees if you do not have a degree from a German high school or from a German university. You are excluded of the tuition fee if you have any of these: German high school degree, German bachelor's degree, German passport. Then you are excluded. If you want to look it up, there is a website that gives really detailed information. Tuition fees, TUM, if you just Google tuition fees, TUM, you'll get there. And what is also very interesting is that there is also the website describing the waivers. Who can be exempted from the tuition fees? For what reason? There is 6 different categories. Please check in detail which one applies to you, and please check the application deadline for the waivers. All of this is very new, so it started this semester, so I don't have much experience how things work. If you have questions, I recommend that you first read the information on the website and then ask us, because it's usually we really try to put everything on the website and make it understandable. But of course, not all information is really clear, so you have to be very aware of your situation. What does apply to you? Can I apply for a waiver? When should I do that? Not to miss the deadline. And if you still have questions, just feel free to reach out to us, okay? Because, it's a new topic and maybe it's not all explained for your situation. So regarding other costs of living, so Munich is a very expensive city in Germany, maybe the most expensive. So please consider that the rent and the cost of living is very high. So usually that is a big disadvantage if you move newly to Munich. We do have student dorms, which is a very affordable way to live, but the waiting list is quite long. So please expect that you might not get a dorm room. So then you can share an apartment, or you can stay with someone who sublets a room, and find a way. But of course, if all students come in October, then it's very hard to find a suitable place in the beginning. So it's very common that students move a lot throughout their study time. And then what you can think of if you want to have some support is applying for scholarships. They are available. They do not cover all of your living expenses, but they are a great support. And what most students do in Germany is to have a student job. So usually in Munich, you can find a student job because there are many job opportunities for students, and it's very common that students work. So you can look for that. And for example, we also have about 15 students working in our academic department. So if you have an academic student job, you may also combine that maybe with the lectures that you have on your campus. So it's very convenient if you have a lecture and then go to your student job for a couple of hours and then return to your lectures. So that is what would be a very convenient situation for a student job. So these are the options that are on the table. And of course, it always depends on your individual situation. Okay, so please consider what's best for you. And if you have additional questions that are not answered, then feel free to also get in touch with us later. So I want to go to the application to the bachelor's program because I assume that those who are in this meeting already have some plans to do an application. So I just want to run you through the procedure so that you've seen it already. Just the basic facts. I will talk now about the bachelor's degree application. Same system applies to the master's application, different deadlines, but the principle is the same. So you apply via our TUM online portal, and here is an application period that you should keep. It's very strict. You really need to be on time and send everything in on time. After the deadline, there is no acceptance of handed in late German proof or certificate. So please consider the deadline. For the bachelor's, that will be 15th of July. And if you have uploaded all of your documents, your application is being reviewed, and then you either have applied for an unrestricted degree program or for an aptitude assessment. We only offer these two. So the aptitude recommendation is basically the same as unrestricted because you will definitely get an admission. Only in the aptitude assessment you can be rejected. So that's why I will explain it later a bit more. And once you have completed that, we will inform you about your admission, if you're accepted or rejected or have to do a second step of the aptitude assessment. And when that is confirmed, then you accept the study place, you submit the documents that you have uploaded before, you pay the semester fee, and then we enroll you. So let's go into the details. The unrestricted degree program is really just an application where you cannot be rejected. You just need to keep the deadlines. So I'll quit this and go to the one form that is a little harder to understand, which is the aptitude assessment. The same aptitude assessment principle applies to the master's program applications, okay? So in the master's, we have only aptitude assessment. There is no unrestricted admission. But in the bachelor's, there are some programs which admit you unrestricted. However, if you do apply for a program with an aptitude assessment in the bachelor's, this would apply to you. It's a point system. So you get points for each section of the application stage. So when you send in your high school certificate, first of all, you need to have the adequate certificate. Usually, if you have studied in Ukraine for 1 year or 2 years, that would be the best combination. It really depends on your school leaving degree. But so to my knowledge, the Ukrainian high school certificate does not allow you to study directly. So If you have studied in Ukraine or at another university already, then that could be counted as a high school degree equivalent. And the other way would be to attend Studienkolleg. Okay, but maybe there are also some of you who have an IB or who have done another degree like A-levels. So it is really important that you check if you can study at a university with your degree. Okay, so you hand in this certificate and you get points for that. And then you have grades in your certificate, in your transcript, and you get again points for good grades. And then you have to write a letter of motivation. You get again points for that. So there is a sum of points that you can collect already in the first stage. And based on this, you could be admitted directly. If you're not complying with the expectations of the applicants in this program, you will be rejected. So either the school degree does not allow you to study our study program, or the grades were not as good, or you missed the deadline, then you would be rejected. It could be that you end up in the second stage of the assessment, which would be you will be invited to an interview or a written test. And this is actually the main interesting part of the aptitude assessment, because if you're admitted, you will not worry. If you're rejected, okay, you might be unhappy, apply again to another program at another university, that's totally fine. But the point that we want to talk about today is what will happen if you will be invited to the interview or to the test. So here, again, you will get points. The rating is like 50% will be covered by your graduation grades, and the 50% make up what you bring with you already. So if you are a very good student, you already have 50% handed in there. Okay, so then the interview is really showing your motivation, showing why you're interested in this program, why you want to study this, why at this university. Be prepared. It's not like an oral exam. It's more really like a motivational talk, but it's important that you give it some thought. If it's a written test, that should, in the most likely be that you have applied for informatics, in computer science. Then you will have to do a math test on site. You have to come to Munich and sit down and take the math test. Okay, so these are the things that you can run into when you apply to our bachelor's program. For the master's, for those who are interested in a master's, we also have the aptitude assessment. Here it's also possible to be invited to an interview or to a test. And here it is usually common that you do have to write an essay in the frame of your application, and this will also be graded with points. So here you could also be admitted regarding your bachelor's transcript, your letter of motivation, your essay. Maybe you have already some work experience. So all of this can already lead to an admission, but it's also possible that it will lead to you being invited to an interview or the written test. So that's the aptitude assessment. So I see some questions. Is there a difference between the test for admission to a master's degree and the bachelor's degree? The test is different, yes. So the test for computer science currently covers the last years of mathematics at German Gymnasium. So it's basically to show, I still remember the school mathematics, okay? So for the master's, it's a different test. So it covers the bachelor's content, mathematics. So it covers, it's like a check. Do you still have the knowledge that you were taught in the bachelor's? And if you have not studied at TUM, do you have the knowledge that we teach in the bachelor's? So it will cover the knowledge that you have obtained before. So basically either from school or from the bachelor's. So there is a difference from the quality of the level. So the next question is, how much classes in FOS do I need to finish 12 or 13 to start learning in your university? Very good question. So because yesterday I visited a FOS actually. So a FOS is a Fachoberschule in Germany, and here you have two variants. You can either have 12 years and then you have a Fachgebundene Hochschulreife. With this, you can only study at universities of applied sciences, at the Hochschule. You can study there with this degree, okay? If you want to study at a university, you need to do 2 languages, because in the 12 years you only have 1 language. So if you do an additional second language and you have the allgemeine Hochschulreife, that would be perfect. There's also another option, which is the fachgebundene Hochschulreife, getting complicated. And with the fachgebundene Hochschulreife, you can study specific programs at specific universities. Here it depends what your FOS is. Like, I mean, there is a technological branch, there is a social science branch, there is another, there are several, I think 4 or 5 kinds of FOS. So here you need to check, what is my specialization and what does it mean if I have the fachgebundene Hochschulreife? Can I study then this and this subject? Because this will depend on the specialization that you have and the fachgebundene Hochschulreife. Okay, so best is that you check with your advisor at school. Usually they should be informed about that and be able to tell you. And you can also write us, the university, directly and tell us, I did this FOS, I have this and this. What can I study with the fachgebundene? But this would be the 13 years without the second foreign language. If you have the 12 years, you can only study at University of Applied Sciences. But here you also have a wide variety. But it's not possible to study at our university because here you either need the fachgebundene or the allgemeine. Okay? I know that was a little hard for those who do not do FOS. It's a complicated topic. But next question is, can I enter a university from 11th class? No, that is not possible. And if I'm understanding this correctly, you're talking about Ukrainian 11th class. So this is not considered as equivalent as a German high school because our school years are longer. Okay, so here you need to consider either to start studying at a Ukrainian university or any other university where you're allowed to study. And study, I think it's approximately 1 year. I think 2 years is even better to be on the safe side that you have enough credits to start studying the same program at a German university. Because then it will, so it has to be assessed. And if it's considered equivalent to a German high school leaving degree, then you can study that. But you have to start studying. It's not possible after 11th grade if I'm well informed in that. Yeah, that is also another question. Yes, because 11 classes, you must see, I mean, in Germany we have 13 years, so it's a lot more than 11. So here that doesn't cover up. I mean, you can attend Studienkolleg, you can apply for Studienkolleg, but it's also not guaranteed that you will get into it. So one way that I have heard of a lot now is that Ukrainian students start studying at a Ukrainian university, and once they have reached a level that is equivalent to a German high school graduation, then they apply and see if that works out for the university. I think there is no guarantee in advance before that, but if you have more detailed question, I would recommend that you make an appointment with our advisory team so that we look closer into your school, and you know, it has also to cover like the standard school alignment. So there is a database where you can check it actually. But I think it's very helpful for you to make an appointment with us. We can also have a video call, and then we can look in detail at your application. Okay. But from 11th class, that will not be possible. Okay, let me just see if I quit. I skipped the question. No, that was all. Okay, good. There was a new one. What level of English, in which English certificate do I need to study in English in your university? And should I have any certificate of German? Very good point. Great question. Okay, let's move on to the language requirements. I don't have a slide for that, but I just jump to the next slides. We will skip this and we will go here. The German language requirements. So what you need to consider is you can study an English language if your English is very good. You need to prove your English. So you need to have an English test. So we accept several different certificates for English language. You can check it up on the website. If you check language certificates TUM on Google, you will probably come to the website where all of our language certificates that we accept are listed for German and for English. So the point is, if you prepare to study in English, you need to prove your English language. If you want to study in German, you need to prove your German. So you have to choose which test you take. My recommendation would be, if you plan to live in Germany, I would do the German test for sure, because it will help you so much more to get connected here to people, to be able to talk. So I would recommend to take the German test and study in German. If it's a challenge because you haven't studied German before, it is possible that you study in English, and then you can, once you're enrolled, you can take German courses for free at our university. But it will be slow that you reach a level of German in which you can really communicate. So that's why I would recommend, if you plan to live in Germany, rather study German beforehand, take the German certificate, and study in German language. This will be a huge benefit for your career prospects. But again, it's possible also to do the same for English, do the test, and then apply for an English language program. Not so much choice in the bachelor's. In the master's, there are more offers. So regarding the language requirements, again, as said, you will find the whole list with all the links, with all the description of the test result that you need online for German and for English, so you can have a look at it and see which test to take. There are various schools that offer it, in various institutes where you can take your test. If you have, like, for example, the one person who asked about the FOS, if you have a German school graduation, of course, you don't need to take a German test, and you have that with your German school leaving degree. Okay, I hope that answered your question. How could you make an appointment with us? I will show you this in a second. Preparatory courses at the university are counted as 13th grade or not. I have never heard that this is possible. We do not offer preparatory courses, so we would have to recognize the ones from the other university, and I have never heard that this has happened. I'm doubtful. I think it will not count. Oops, okay. Just a second. I flipped the websites. Okay, next question. I'm just thinking if I should maybe show you already the slide of the context. Yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. So in this slide, you have the information. You can take a picture maybe of the slide and copy it for you. There's also a QR code to make personal advising appointments. And the general email, studium@tum.de, is where you can ask any questions. So this is our team that really answers all questions, and they will redirect you to the place where you can find help with your issue. So you can write it in a detailed way, and then they will forward it, okay? So most of all, make it clear what your problem is or what your situation is, and then the more specific, the better they can answer or redirect you. Okay, so that's just my recommendation. First of all, write an email to studium@tum.de. If you directly want to make an appointment with us, with our advisory board, then just go to the form and fill it out and make an appointment directly for your specific case. Okay, does the student's fee differ from the language of studying? Not really. Actually, there is a difference between the singular programs. So some programs even don't have a fee. That's, as I said, it's a little confusing. There are some programs that do not apply a fee. Not many, but there are some. And you have to look up actually the program. It doesn't matter which language. So the language doesn't really play a role in it. It's more about the setup of the program, how much lab, how much research facilities, the more high technology is used in the program, the more is the tuition fee. I think that's the logic. And so you have to check for the program that you're interested in. Do you need to prove your German language if you have Abitur? No way. If you have the Abitur, you have already proven. You already speak very good German then. You don't need a proof of German anymore. But if you want to study an English language, then you would need the proof of English, if that's not covered by your Abitur. Some programs also allow you to cover it with some English grades, but here you would have to check. But for German, if you have the Deutsche Abitur, or the Fachgebiet Hochschulreife, then you don't need to prove your German at all. Could you tell us about jobbing for students? You're asking really good questions. That's what I wanted to tell you anyways. You want to study a master's and you want to continue working on your specialization. And you are asking if there are company partners that will allow you to work and combine with studying. Yeah, that's basically the work-student contract. So it's a specific tax-regulated contract for students. So companies do hire students for these jobs, and actually it's very good if you find a job that is close to your study field, because it might be also good contact for you for your career. So I would definitely try to find that job. I mean, there are also other jobs, many other jobs that you can just have to add some money to your monthly income. But if you find a job that is more in your field, it's the better it is for you. So yeah, if you're studying in a master's, you already have some skills. That's very good. Try to make some job connections. And we do have several fairs organized by students where you could meet future employers and talk to them and try to make a student job contract. Also, an internship is very recommendable, but of course a student job is better because you get paid for it. So definitely that is possible, and combining it with studies it really depends on the individual person. What is possible is that you work up to 20 hours a week, and that is quite a lot if you study full time. So many students stretch their study time a little longer and attend less lectures maybe to be able to combine with work and maybe doing an internship. I think that most of the students that work for us work less than 20 hours a week. It depends on the individual situation and also on the semester. The workload that you have in the semester and how fit you feel, that might also vary. So I cannot really tell you how easy it is to combine both. I think it depends on the individual person, but it is definitely possible. Okay, how many Studienkolleg years do I need to do after 11 Ukrainian classes? Studienkolleg is 9 months, 8 or 9 months, no years. That's a good thing. So it's really a preparation for university only, and I think it's 8 to 9 months. I heard that TUM has a special integration program in German courses for Ukrainian. Is it applicable now? Unfortunately, the deadline has already passed, and we have already started because the semester started last week. So that's also when our integration program for Ukrainian students started. And at this moment, we do not know if we will continue with this program in the summer semester. So I would kindly ask you to send us an email maybe in December or January to ask again if we continue this program, because at this moment, I do really not know. And currently, the deadline has already passed because semester registration for courses has already started, and we cannot take in any students at this point. Which German level do you have to study? Is B2 enough? No, it's not enough. It's minimum level C1 for some of the certificates. I think tільки still has a C1 certificate, and then Goethe is C2 even. So I think the difference between C1 and C2, actually it's not so much, but Goethe calls their certificate C2. And we also accept the tільки, the test staff is depending on grade 4 in each of the 4 sections. So the level is, I would say, C1 to C2. So that's like the next level after B2. Okay. Next question. Can I contact student advising regarding master's program if I'm a citizen of Ukraine and have a bachelor's degree from Czech Technical University in Prague? Yes, of course. Yes, that's totally fine. That's a European Union bachelor's. Should work out fine. You apply just with your transcript. It's very good if it's a Ukrainian university because we have the same transcripts. So all of the credits that you have taken in the European Union can be recognized by another European Union university. So that's a convenient way to apply, and you can definitely apply to a master's program. And if you want to have a student advising appointment, feel free to just get in touch with us. Okay, so I think we have covered really great topics here because your questions are very good. I want to tell you that we also have online sessions, which you can attend once a month on a Thursday evening from 5:30 to 7 p.m. You need to register for these events so that we know who will show up. And it's an introduction session to the bachelor's program. So each month, a different department is presenting their programs, a different school. So it will be, sorry, I don't know which one is the next topic. You can look it up on the website, but it's very interesting because each month they show a new variation of programs and how to apply to it. And so they are really from the department and they give you all the insider information for the application. So I would definitely recommend to join that. If you're in Germany or you come to Germany in March, I would recommend that you come to our campus sites and see the campus yourself. So basically each Friday in March, we have an open campus day as we have so many campuses, and you can check it out. I would definitely recommend that you see the campus in person because it will give you a different impression. I'm seeing a new question. Can a Ukrainian national apply for a second year of bachelor studies in TUM after completing first year in Polish university? Yes, you can try that. The problem will just be depending on your high school certificate. So if it's been 11 years, then if you have finished 1 year in the Polish university, it might cover the high school certificate. This has to be checked, but it might be. I'm sorry. You can apply for the first year. So you cannot jump to the second year. You would have to start again. So because then your degree counts as your high school certificate. It should also be a connected program. Sorry. It's flu season, so the voice is going after a while. Please remember that the program that you study in Poland will also determine what program you will be admitted to in Germany. So basically, if you have studied architecture in Poland now for 1 year and you apply for architecture at TUM, that might work out. But if you would want to now apply to sports science, they would say, well, you have credits in architecture, not in sports science. So if you want to have the admission to a German university via a study year in another university, please make sure that it is the program you really want to study, because it will play a role in the admission process. Okay, so there has to be an evaluation of your grades. They have to match the program that you want to apply to. Okay, so please keep this in mind because it's very important that you are in the right study track, basically, that you start in one university and then when you change, you will have the same field of study that you want to apply to. Otherwise, it cannot be recognized. Okay, very welcome. Let me see what else I got for you. Yeah, this is my recommendation to check out our social media channels. Lots of information on there. And I think most of all, I would really recommend that you get in touch with us via any channel you want. We have lots of opportunities for you to get in touch with us. I think the best scenario is really to have an individual study advising appointment because, it's sometimes very tricky. You have a background, you maybe have spent some time in Germany or at another school and you want to know if this is recognized, or you have studied somewhere and you want to know if this is recognized. So usually it's really individual advising that helps most. That's what I would recommend. And you're free to send us an email to studium@tum.de, explain your situation, and see, and if my colleagues see, okay, this person really needs some advising session, then they will anyways recommend this to you. You can book either an advisory appointment yourself or just ask a question via studium@tum.de. Try to get an answer. If it's like a question, does this German proof, is this German proof enough? You can just send it there. And if they think that you will need advising, they will also recommend it to you. Okay, so keep in touch with us. And yeah, I think that would be the presentation from my side. Maybe I go back to the contact slide. So if any of you wants to copy that, the email address studium@tum.de for any question. and the QR code for personal advising. That would be my my recommendations. Okay, so that's it from the information that I have for you. Are there any other questions that we can answer in the chat? Give you a moment. If not, just be in touch with us. Feel free to reach out. And I think you have heard a lot of information today. So maybe also in the next days, you will have another question. So just feel free to get in touch with us. Okay, I think there's no more questions. I'm sure you have had a lot of information today and maybe need a good rest of the day. And I wish you that. Thank you very much for your attention. And if you want to be in touch, get in touch with us. Okay? Very welcome. Okay, so I see that there is one more question. What do I need to do to get 13 grades? Well, if your school doesn't offer it, it's quite impossible. I mean, there are various, it really depends on your situation. If you can do, I mean, if you want to study in Germany, it would be best to have a school certificate from a German high school. But this depends on your individual situation, if that is even an option. The other way would be to study at university to have an equivalent of the high school certificate, which could be obtained within 1 or 2 years, depending on the study program and the credits that you obtain at another university, Ukrainian university or any other European university. That would be the two most common ways that I'm aware of. I think it's always important to look at the individual situation. Okay, then I think that's it for today. And yeah, I wish you all the best. Get in touch with us if you need, and take care. Bye-bye. Ciao.
All right, as I can see, we have another question, and I displayed it from the chat for you. So please give answer.
How are social events organized for new international students? Well, there are many events. I don't think they aim specifically at international students. It's really more to have some connection points in the beginning of the semester. So there are lots of parties, as I mentioned before, and lots of welcoming events at the departments. So they have meetups and some activities together to meet the other students. So it's not specifically for international students, but for all students, because most students move to a university city And there might be some specific offers depending on the department for international students. But I think the core activities are really regarding the connection in the beginning of the semester. Okay, how is the healthcare system organized for students, and what medical services are available on campus? The healthcare system is actually the German health insurance, the classical health insurance that is has to be obtained by every student. So you have to be insured by one of the big insurance companies, or your insurance has to be recognized by them. So this is the basic healthcare system, and the medical services available on campus. I don't think we have any available on campus. That's not very common. So usually it's really that students go to see a doctor if they have a medical need. And to my knowledge, I mean, there's no medical service on campus. I mean, there are some health activities, but no medical service. So in Germany, it's really much via the insurance, and that you go to a doctor in your close to your home area. Yeah, we can jump to the next question. Is there maybe I'm not sure if I missed one. Let's see, is there an opportunity preparatory courses in German or English? So is there an opportunity for international students? Not really at university. There are some, I mean, you could take a German course that you would have to pay for at a German school. We currently don't have any preparatory courses in German or English. So would you have to be self-organized? Maybe there are some private initiatives that offer it, but our university does not offer any preparatory courses at the moment. So is there a big competition for IT? Well, there is a big competition, but there's also lots of offers in the job market. So yeah, I think that really tells it all. So there is a high demand for IT, and there is competition, but there's also high demand. So it's a good balance. And the grades are, if you have an Ausbildung, yes, they can play a role. But actually, if the demand is very high, the grades play less a role. So if it's an IT Ausbildung, I think currently the grades do not play the most important role because the demand is very high for the labor force. So next one is, what are the two large gray pipes in one of the campus or library photos? That's a very funny question. So that's actually a slide, a very big slide, and it's a parable. It's really exactly the shape of a parable, and it's a slide, and you can really slide down with it. They have little carpets there. You can sit on the carpets and slide. So if you go to see the Open Campus Day in March, then you can try that. It will probably be opened for visitors. Okay, so we have another one. Trying to I think we answered that before. I'm seeing now two questions that were not answered. Pipes and the opportunities to obtain additional certifications. There are some opportunities to take certifications. Currently, it is not really matching for or suitable for a student because it's very expensive in addition to your study program. So the certifications that you have in your study program are better for you because you don't have to pay extra for them. If you are not enrolled in a study program, you can look it up. To my knowledge, it's still in the build up, or maybe they have already established some certifications. It depends what you want to do. I would check for the online courses for example, for graduates or for module studies. That was always like, it's always a discussion if this should be possible or not. I think it's quite hard to find something, but what you find are online lectures that you can attend, and then you can also have this in your CV, maybe, if you want. So that's a question about the certificates. And just see not to jump anything. What unique programs or courses distinguishes TUM from other universities? Oh, that's a very difficult question. I would just check what, we have different programs, but some programs are, so we have informatic, LMU also has informatica here. I would check what is better for you. I mean, what's the study location? Research opportunities are, of course, different because we are in touch with different research institutes that might play a role if you already know which research institute you want to work with. Here are some, the core course material is, of course, the same because you need to learn the same subject. But there are some variations in what options you have at the university, and then I would just go for what is important to you. What is the ratio between number of candidates for admission and available places for studied in computer science and architecture departments? Since we only have the aptitude assessment, there is no restricted number of seats that is available. So it is really depending on the aptitude assessment. So the student who applies and is considered fitting with the profile of the program will be admitted. So there is no restricted number of admission. So let me just see, did I miss anything? LMU questions I cannot answer because I'm not from LMU. So I think we have covered all the questions. Okay, I think this is the last question. Which areas of Munich are most affordable to students in terms of cost of living and convenient transportations? There is not really one that I could recommend that is affordable. I think the more you move outside, the better it is. With that meaning really moving out of the S-Bahn zone. So I think most affordable is if you move out of the S-Bahn and have the bus connection only. So I have students who are living in towns where there's only a bus connection to the S-Bahn. And that is then most affordable, I would say. So you just need to try your luck because you might always find something that is affordable to you. But if you ask me which is the most affordable region, I would say out of Munich, really like in the towns that are even out of the public transportation area. And then it's hard to get to public transportation, but some students do. So they take a bus or they go by bike. But it's a long way, of course, to get into the city. But these areas are most affordable. But again, I would say try to find something in Munich. It's always an option that you are lucky and find something. And most students at some point do. It's just that you have to expect to be moving during your studies. Okay, so I think that's it from my side. I wish you a nice evening. Thank you for your questions. If you have more, just get in touch with us. And I would close